Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, and I'm Kylie Newman. A California fire, the trial for a local shooting, and 4 people missing in Junction, Texas are just some of today's top stories. In campus news, Director of Student Publications and Affairs, Caleb Chapman, talked about yesterday's ALE workshop to train students in leadership and diversity.
All right, so my name is Caleb Chapman. I'm the Director of Leadership and Service Programs. Also work as Director of Student Affairs, Marketing, and Communications, so kind of a dual role, probably a triple role. But the program that we're doing today is called Leadership 101, and it's a series of workshops. It's a 6-part series just to help students learn the basics of leadership. So we're on week 3 right now, and today's topic is Dimensions of Diversity, in which Ms. Melanie Johnson, the Director of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, is facilitating that for us today. And so that's just kind of helping people understand different identities and how that plays into a group dynamic when you're talking about leadership. So some of the other things we've covered is the definition of just basically defining leadership and what that is and what that means. We've done a session on self-awareness, helping people understand their own personal values and how to use that in their leadership roles. So upcoming, we'll have, I've got to look at my notes here, we're going to do one on communication because that's important. That's probably one of the most important traits to have when being a leader, is to be an effective communicator. We're also going to talk about working in a group and kind of the dynamics of group work and how that works. And then the last session will be about conflict management and how to deal with conflict in a good way and how to use conflict in a positive way when talking about group work. And so our goal really is to kind of introduce the basics of leadership to our students here and help them advance in their leadership capabilities while they're here in college. And so we're kind of building our leadership programs up right now, and so this is kind of the first step in that. We're looking at doing an emerging leaders program in the next year or so, and that'll be something to kind of equip students who are interested in having some higher impact leadership positions here on campus to give them a strong foothold in the door. So that's kind of what we're working on, and that's kind of the synopsis of this Leadership 101 series. So do you have any particular questions?
In local news, the Stephenville Empire Tribune is reporting that the trial for the man accused of shooting a Tarleton student is underway. Sean Patrick Layton has been accused of the December 17th shooting of Jamie Richards at her residence in the Oak Tree apartment complex in Stephenville. Layton is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The shooting is said to be a case of mistaken identity. According to the Empire Tribune, Jeremy Leo, a drug dealer living at the apartment complex, told police he believes Layton mistakenly knocked on the wrong door and he was the intended target. A mask and black clothing matching the description given by Richards was found at Layton's home. Police also found loaded cartridges that matched the shell casings as the ones found at the scene. And now today's state, local, and national and international news from the Associated Press. Officials are looking for 4 missing people after the flooding of a recreational vehicle park Sunday in Junction, Texas. After receiving heavy amounts of rain Sunday, the South Llano River rose and the flooding caused people staying in the South Llano RV park to be swept away. 19 people have been rescued and 4 are still missing. Boats looking for these individuals are patrolling all the way from South Llano RV Park in Junction to the Mason County line. In national news, the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection said 2 sagging Pacific gas and electric power lines made contact, igniting a wildfire last year that killed 4 people and injured a firefighter. Pacific Gas and Electric Company spokeswoman Lindsay Paulo said the utility is working on improving fire prevention by strengthening poles and lines, upgrading weather modeling, and clearing vegetation around equipment. For today's international news, we turn to AP for the AP News Minute.
Near the U.S. border, a 1.1 million square foot greenhouse once filled with tomatoes, now getting a makeover to grow cannabis. and lots of it.
The conservative forecast is 75,000 kilograms a year.
That's more than 165,000 pounds. This British Columbia farm is one of several licensed growers that will supply marijuana as Canada prepares for its first day of recreational pot sales.
We will soon have a new system in place, one that keeps cannabis out of the hands of our kids and keeps profits away from organized crime.
Canada is now only the second country in the world and the largest to legalize the drug nationally. About 100 dispensaries across the country are expected to be open on the first day of sales, October 17th.
I've no doubt there will be hiccups. This is a major public policy shift in this country, probably the largest in several decades. But I think we're ready.
Unlike in the U.S., where marijuana is illegal at the federal level, the Canadian cannabis industry will have access to banking and mail delivery. Customers can order online and have pot delivered to their door. Major corporations are paying attention. The parent company of Corona Beer has pledged a $4 billion investment in a farming company called Canopy Growth.
And then over here we have the products themselves. A lot of these are going to vanish soon.
Legalization Day has been a long time coming for Chris Clay, a veteran activist. He was arrested more than 20 years ago for selling marijuana plant clones at his store in Ontario.
No, you're completely shutting down?
Yeah, we have to close down on the 15th of October to get licensed.
I know it's not good news, but
His medical marijuana dispensary in British Columbia is technically illegal, so he's closing it to apply for a license. His employees will be without work for an unknown period of time.
So that'll be a little frustrating, but overall I'm thrilled. I'm glad people aren't going to be arrested anymore for possession, for carrying around small amounts of cannabis.
Canada's big policy shift being watched closely across the border and around the world.
As soon as you're open, let me know. I'll bring you some.
Robert Bumstead, Associated Press.
In sports, according to Tarleton Athletics, this is the perfect weekend to take a road trip. Tarleton football, volleyball, and cross country will be in Commerce, Texas this weekend. Volleyball and cross country will compete on Friday, with football taking the field in an AFCA Top 25 showdown with the Lions Saturday at 4 p.m. And now we go to Felicia Colley for today's weather.
According to the National Weather Service, it is a high of 71 and a low of 51, with mostly sunny skies.
This has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays. If you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, and national and international news. Today's broadcast was produced by Ashley Willits, Riley Pruitt, and Felicia Colley. Have a wonderful day, Texans.